Hello and welcome to the Rams Ride podcast with me, your host Simon. How is everyone doing? I hope we're all feeling a bit better. Derby now starting to, well, they're now unbeaten in four. Two clean sheets on the bounce. Have accumulated 5 points. No, even more than that. 6 points. Three draws, and one win under Wayne Rooney since he became sole manager. So, well, very, very. It's a totally different style of football we're playing at the moment. We're playing a more direct sort of style of football, looking to get it forward near enough straight away. Get it into the big Colin up top and get players off to feed around him. Just try and get numbers into the box, try and overload the wings, get crosses into the box, get bodies into the box, and just try and score. But unfortunately, we're still only managing one goal a game, which is a bit of a disappointment, really. But you know, obviously we've had under Rooney's tenure since he became the manager, if you like. We've had 2-1 draws. That was obviously against Coventry and Wycombe, where we were 1-0 up and we should have won, but obviously didn't. Conceded late in the last 10 minutes to both in both games. And then, we went on to beat Millwall at the weekend, which very, very hard fought point. It's never easy going to Millwall. They're a tough side to beat, tough side to score against. They themselves don't score many goals. So it was a tough game, and to come away with 3 points was great. Really good. I think we all felt a heck of a lot better. That we got the win. Something we've been after for so long. We took the lead as well, obviously, and we kept a clean sheet. And then we went to Brentford last night. Totally different sort of opposition to the like Millwall, Coventry, and Wycombe. And I think a lot of the consensus amongst fans was, we're not going to come away with anything here. So to finish 0-0, happy days. And we kept them. I wouldn't say we kept them out, but we kept them from having a shot on target. David Marshall, no save to make. However, they did miss an open goal. But that's football. That's sometimes the luck that you need in football. We were unlucky. Jozwiak, with our best chance, hit the post. Tom Lawrence had half a chance where I think if it had gone to his right foot and an empty net of bodies around him, I think he would have lobbed the keeper and it would have been a goal rather than going wide. But we did well. We're battling. There's a whole different atmosphere. There's a whole different attitude. There's a whole load of passion and desire coming from these players now. It's great to see. They want to fight. They want to battle. They want to win. We weren't seeing that. We were seeing a boring, sort of slow, methodical, not really going to happen. Nothing really looking like it was going to happen today. Yesterday, I suppose, was similar. We didn't really create anything. Like I say, apart from the Jozwiak chance, was probably our most clear-cut chance, and he's hit the post from 8 yards, 9 yards. Nothing he could. He did everything right. Took a touch, crowded area, managed to keep it low and hard, but just the wrong side of the post. But you expect that against a team against Brentford. I think we were a bit too scared, maybe, perhaps, because Brentford played such a high line, and we just didn't ping a ball over the top, or they didn't give us time to ping a ball over the top because they press so high. And that's what they do. They condensed us in midfield. They squoze us tight. And, that's, if you can get a ball over the top for the likes of Jozwiak, to chase, then happy days, or Dwayne Holmes, Wagon, whoever's up front, CKR. CKR is not going to try and chase balls down and get him behind defenders. Is not his game. But trying to do it for the likes of Lawrence, Holmes, Jozwiak, Wagon, they might get there, but we just couldn't seem to find that out ball that could cause Brentford any threat. However, we dug in deep, resolute, resilient. That's what we were. Defensive wise, we're keeping a clean sheet against Brentford. That's a very hard feat, and we achieved it. Probably only downside was the fact that we've lost Curtis Davis. How long for, we're not sure yet. Whether it's his knee, Achilles, ankle, head, I don't really know. The injury was weird. He sort of just went down in the box, and no one really put contact on him. Did he look like he landed weird, a bit awkwardly, perhaps? I don't know. So we don't know the injury. We don't know the extent to his injury. There's been no press conference today, which is, obviously played in London yesterday, so they probably would have travelled back this morning. No time for a press conference. I'm assuming there'll be one tomorrow, Friday. But we're seeing a different side to Derby now, and obviously, what I normally do is give my opinions on things and read questions out. But your questions also around what I was going to talk about today, so we'll go straight to them. I think. In fact, no. First of all, after that draw, DCSELO2 on Twitter, he says we're actually going up, aren't we? Well, probably not this season, no. But, essentially, I'll go through the questions in a bit because there is some with a bit more detail and depth to them. But I asked this on Twitter earlier on as well. Is Rooney doing enough to put himself in the frame for the permanent manager position? He's undefeated in 4 as a sole manager. Obviously, when there was the four of them, they had the defeats against Bristol City and the awful display and defeat against Middlesbrough. But since Rooney's been on his own, we've had a draw against Wickham, a draw against Coventry, a win against Mill, and a draw against Brentford. Is he doing enough? It's a tough one because defensively we do look solid, but we're lacking no goal. We're lacking a goal threat. We just, whether it's personnel or whether it's just tactics. I'm not sure. It's so hard to judge. But we do need to. Mourinho won the league winning 1-0 every week. With Chelsea. He had a game plan where he'd score a goal, part of the bus. I don't think we're trying to emulate that. I think we, at the moment, as Rooney's put across many times, we're just trying to put it back to a basic and a more simpler sort of style of football, style of play. And at the moment, it's working for us. But there's always that risk that you're going to concede that late goal, as we saw against Wickham and we saw against Coventry. Yes, we didn't concede against Millwall. Never really looked threatening. Didn't look like they were going to score anyway. I think in the first half that they had one chance where Marshall puts out a big pour and stops a one-on-one fantastically. He got huge credit, but that was the only save he had to make. We're playing now in a nice sort of system where we get into this shape, this sort of a 4-5-1 shape when we go into defence, and it's working for us. But we need to be more clinical, perhaps. We are creating more chances. We have created more chances in the past few games. Didn't really, like I say, yesterday we didn't really create anything, but it was always going to be a tough ask anyway. But we're just not putting them away. You get, we don't. We used to be 1-0 up now. Yeah, sound. Sometimes I'm feeling when we're watching. I don't know if you guys are the same, but we go, oh, we're 1-0 up. And I'm thinking that we need a second goal. We need a second goal. We need a second goal, because you just feel that there's the potential slip is going to happen where we end up conceding a late goal and it turns from 3 points to a draw. So, yeah, is Rooney doing enough? Is he? He's now odds-on favourite. Obviously, betting, gambling, and all that. I think he was 9-1 at one point. Now he's odds-on favourite. But that's just because people are lumping money on him. That's how betting works. Like when Rafa Benitez, he became favourite because people were going, "Oh, Rafa Benitez, whoosh, we'll bang money on him." But I don't think he's in the frame. But the potential new owners, they're going to have a decision to make. Do they give him the job because he's doing well? I mean, put it this way: if we get a win on Saturday, and results go our way, we're out of the bottom 3. If we'd managed to scrape a goal last night, we're out of the bottom 3. So he's getting an even a sort of bigger shout to say, look what I've done. I've taken this team from rock bottom of the league to out, and we're building. But I just feel that unless we start scoring more goals, that you're going to slip back, because you're going to play some teams that will find your way through your defence. Especially with the likes of Curtis Davis, who I think has been brilliant since he's come in, absolutely phenomenal, coming in doing a job. He's now out. So who do we put at centre back? Probably we bought Mike Taveric in. He's not getting a sniff. He had a good game against Bournemouth, but since then, nothing. So I don't know what's going on there. So, you know, you're probably going to be looking at a back four of, I'd say, Fozzie, Clark, Wisdom, and Byrne on Saturday against Stoke. That's what I'm guessing. But, you know, I'm a big fan of Wisdom. Anyone who's listening to my show would know I'm a big fan of Andrea Wisdom, but there's still people there that have the doubts, and that's fine. You know, sometimes I think, especially at high balls, he can get lost underneath him sometimes. But, you know, yesterday, I think we were down to 10 men because Cornell McDonald, who got his debut yesterday, another under-23 graduate coming through into the first team, did absolutely fantastic. You know, he looks a real good prospect, real quick, you know, loves to get forward. Defensive-wise, it's one of them things with young fullbacks, you know, getting your defensive position, you know, needs to be good, you know, and I think, you know, but other than that, he looks really good. But he got busted in the nose, so he was off the pitch getting his shirt changed. Brentford took advantage of it, took a quick free kick, and Tony was in, and Bosch, there's Wisdom again. You know, he will do that for you. He will get in those positions. You know, he has the pace to, if he does get in the wrong defensive position, he will get back, and you know, he will save you. So for me, then, Rooney is, you know, as well as he is doing, I still think we need some experience in there. Now, I also put this question out on Twitter earlier on, which I got a lot of comments about, so thank you for that. Which was, how much of this, you know, this turnaround that we're having at the minute is down to Rooney, and how much of it is down to McClaren? You know, I got a lot of answers. A lot of people sort of on the same thing. We're sort of thinking, yeah, a lot of it's going to be down to McClaren. He's pulling the strings, you know, or really helping Rooney, you know, really getting involved. You know, he's a technical advisor, but, you know, you see him and he's out on the pitch celebrating after the games. You don't normally see technical advisors do that. We didn't see Harry Redknapp do that when he was director of football all those years ago for us. You know, you don't see that. So I personally think McClaren is involved, you know, maybe helping structure and training, and just guiding Rooney. I think he's heavily involved. But one thing I will say, and someone commented on this, I'll see if I can find the comment on my Twitter, which is, it did bring up, you know, a really good point, really. And that was, we've got, I'll try and find your name, because, you know, people comment, you know, I'll read you out. It's fine. Like I say, had a lot of comments on this. I can't find it now. Sorry about this. Right. So, yes, it was Mr. Windle on Twitter, James Windle. And his, basically, when I put his question out, his answer was Bielik plus Davis plus Colin. Spine. We've got a spine of a team. Krystian Bielik's come back in this side. And I'm also going to mention him. This is another answer to his question. So Krystian Bielik's come back. Performances have got better. We look more dominating in midfield. He seems to have a really good balance with having Graham Shinney next to him. You know, we know Bielik can put a tackle in. He's not scared to put a tackle in. He keeps the ball well. He can win the ball back. But Graham Shinney's just got that energy. You know, he just buzzes around all match, all 90 minutes. You know, you know he's going to put a shift in for you every single day. You know, it's much like Jason Knight. You know, Shinney, for me, you know, he's not the most technically gifted player, but he does that dog work that not everybody wants to do. You know, he's not the best dribbler of the ball, not the best passer of the ball, but you need Graham Shinney in that side. But Krystian Bielik, you know, he's come back. You know, some fans, weren't great fans of him. You know, they didn't really like him, or didn't think he was that good. I've always rated him ever since I saw him play for us last season. Thought he was gutted. I was absolutely gutted when we got injured, because again, I could see him developing and pulling strings even back, you know, then when he was his first season in the Championship. You know, this guy used to play for Arsenal. You know, he's played in the Champions League or Europa League. You know, he's had experience of that. So, you know, he is probably one of the best central midfielders in this league. And you can see why, just some of the touches he brings, you know, the way he breaks up play, the way he looks, and his eye for his pass, right? It's not always 100% accurate, his long balls. You know, he's not like your Tom Huddleston that you guarantee if he looked up, he'd ping it exactly where he wanted it. No, but he's getting there. And the older he gets and the more he plays, the better he's going to get. And, the better he's going to get at doing that. So, yeah, Krystian Bielik, him coming back into the side as well is, it's no coincidence that since he's been back, our form's been a big upturn. It really isn't. But like you said, it's we've got Davis, you commanding central defensive centre back, then on to Bielik, and then CKR up top. You have got a bit of a spine of a team, and of course Marshall in goal, who's is a rock. We could have lost far more points if it hadn't been for him this season. Like I said, Davis is out, so it's going to be a tough decision. Who comes in. I'm pretty confident Wisdom can do it. He can come in. We saw him last season. When he played multiple games, in a row as a centre back, he grew into it, and he got comfortable there, and we all loved him. Because of the way he defended. He looked solid as a rock, and I'm sure he will do again. So spine of the team, another thing that's helping us improve. McClaren, yes, I think he is helping us improve. He and Rooney and Rossini. Interesting one that though. Ryan Conway, friend of the show, right South 80, but he brought this up in an article he wrote. So go check it out on theathletic.com. Liam Rossini is in there. Bear in mind, Rooney's only got his B license. Liam Rossini's got his pro license. Yet the job was given to Rooney and not Rossini. Interesting one, that. He's the one that's more qualified. He wanted the job. He's the one who fronted out all the poor performances after Koku was sacked. So it's a bit of an odd one, if he felt aggrieved about not being even in position for the role, Rooney said in his press conference that they all came together and had a conversation, and it was decided that Rooney was the man to take the job. Again, in the same article, I think Ryan alluded to it. He says actually he's led to believe that it was actually McClaren that said to Rooney, right, you need to do the job. That's McClaren putting his foot down, and it's probably Mel in his ear as well. Rooney's you've got Rooney there. We saw all the publicity that comes with Lampard. And again, was Rossini Koku, signing? No, it was Mel. Yeah, Mel brought him in. Oh, better get something to help him work out what a championship's all about. So it's a tough one on Liam. Because I don't think he's really had his chance to shine since he's been here. He's a well qualified coach. He's just obviously not had a chance to show what he can do, and I don't think he will do. Whether it be the new owners that come in, if they don't come in, I don't think he'll be even anywhere near the running for the next Derby County manager. So it's a bit sad, really. But things are on the up, and that's a good thing. It's time to be positive. We can be positive now. We were struggling to find positivity. After every game, there was bickering, there was fighting on social media because we went to the grounds. Fingers crossed in another 6 days, they'll put Derby down to tier 2 and be allowed to have fans back. That would be nice. Even if it's 2,000 fans in, it's better than none. I actually enjoyed watching the game yesterday just because there was a little bit of noise from the fans. It wasn't this, this custom noise that Sky put in or whatever. It was actual fan noise. It was great. It was the same against Millwall. Yeah, despite what they did at the start, which was horrendous, booing the taking of the knee. They've said why they did it, etc. Then there was applause for it, against QPR when they played. I'm not going into that anyway. That's a different show. But it was crowd noise, and I think if Derby can get crowds back, we'll see performances lift even more. I just think now that the players are starting to grow in confidence now. They're starting to feel it. They're starting to go, actually, yeah, I like playing this style of football. I like just playing football. Someone yesterday tweeted me and said that we're not. It's being left down to the players to make the decisions of where to pass, when to pass, etc. Things like that. Well, yeah, as I said, Rooney said he wants to go back to basic. Well, that's fine. These players are talented enough footballers. They don't need it drilling into them. And I think that's one thing that they struggled under with Philip Koku was the fact that there was method into everything. Everything was so meticulous under him. And I think that's, maybe where they struggled, training sessions, getting bored, doing the same thing or whatever. I don't know, whatever. It was just what I've heard and read and whatnot. So Let them play football now. Maybe they just said, right, just go out and play football, play a game. This is what we want to do. We want to overload the wings, overload the box, just get players forward. Go and play football. Be brave. If your pass doesn't go where it doesn't go, it doesn't matter. Because one thing is another thing that we're seeing, which is a vast improvement, is winning second balls. If we get the ball away, we're back on it, like in a snap, trying to win it back, trying to get the ball back, stopping teams from counter-attacking on us. You know, and that's one thing last night, which is why I think we really struggled to create chances, was because if we lost the ball, unlike when we played other teams, we didn't win it back straight away, because Brentford are so, you know, they're so good at moving the ball quickly. You know, if Philip Cocu took over Brentford, he'd have a team there that, you know, I reckon he'd walk the league with them. You know, if he got them playing to the standard that, let's think about this for a minute. You know, Philip Cocu, then back in the last season, we were at one point, I think, a point off playoffs. Playing good football. At the time, we were saying this is so much better football. And I generally think that, you know, if Philip Cocu managed Brentford, it would have gotten promoted, because they've got a lot of talent in that squad. And let's not underestimate how good Brentford are. I think there's a few finer points to their game, you know, why they're not getting promoted. Obviously, again, you know, they sold Ollie Watkins and Syed Benrahma, two big goal scorers from last season. You know, so they aren't going to get as many goals this season. Obviously, even Ivan Toney's doing his damned hardest. He's got 14 goals already this season. It's like a goal a game at the minute. So, but that's Brentford. But, you know, that's a different thing. But we are playing football now. We're playing like McClaren did, a similar style to what McClaren played. Just get the ball forward. I mentioned it in my last podcast. Early crosses. We're seeing them. We saw them against Coventry from Forsyth. Early crosses. You know, that's something that McClaren used to like, you know, from Forsyth. And that's another reason I believe he's been back in the team. And it's another reason as well, I think, why he's been so steady, so good. You know, he's looked at, you know, he looked nervous under Cocu. He looked very nervous because he knew he had to play little tippy-tappy balls. He had to, and it's not his game, you know. He can pass the ball. Yeah, he does. He is prone to an error, but when he's not pressured and when it's just sort of like, if you get the ball right, let's go. You know, we see it. We saw it every time. There's not a great deal of this knocking it back and forward, you know, side to side. It almost seems as soon as it comes out to the wing, right, let's get it forward. You know, there's a few times, you know, where I think there was trying to be a bit too intricate yesterday, only a couple, but they soon stopped it. So football is definitely getting better. So obviously, though, I spoke about Rooney being the next permanent manager. That's down to the potential new owners. Now, this has obviously gone quiet, so quiet. It's you know, it's almost deafening. It's painfully quiet. You know, we're not hearing anything. You know, there's doubts now being cast. You know, especially with what happened with Newcastle. Now, obviously, with Newcastle, it was out in the press, and then it went tits up basically. No one really knows the true reason why whoever pulled out. You know, was it Mike Ashley at Newcastle not, you know, changing the price? You know, was it the company themselves? No one really knows. You know, so maybe this is why it's been kept under wraps. So now, there's. I shared a snippet of Radio Derby Sports Scene the other day, which I probably should have sent more of the video, because it didn't really give the full context. But it was Ed saying that, he'd been speaking with Mel, and Mel had said sort of once the appeal process from the EFL, then things would get moving. However, Ryan was obviously on the show as well. He's obviously been said, oh yeah, it was 24 to 48 hours. So there's mixed messages going on there, which isn't, it's not great when even the journalists are getting mixed messages. Even the guys that, need to, that its job is to tell the fans what's going on. They're not getting the message. We're not hearing anything from John Percy or anything. So yeah, question then from Mohammed. Sorry if I don't get this right. Mohammed Husnain. I don't know. I'm sorry if I've said it wrong. I'm really sorry. But he says, what's the latest on the takeover? Do you have any news by any chance? We really need to go through before January and employ Rooney full time, or get another manager in who can be backed in the window, and we can push up the league. Hopefully, it hasn't fallen through, especially after your heartfelt tribute to Mel Morris last time. What heartfelt tribute to Mel Morris? Are you on about the one on Radio Derby? Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's I get what you're saying. I have said things about Mel Morris on here. I've said good things about him, I've said bad things about him. That's the way it's been since we've been under his thing. But yeah, the takeover then, like I've just said, no one really knows what the heck is going on. You know, it's annoying fans. It's probably annoying the players. You know, Rooney apparently is saying he's asking every day. You know, because at the end of the day, Rooney at the minute is managing, so he's not training with the players. You know, he's not doing the normal training sessions like everyone else was. He's taking it. So his fitness work is at home. Ergo, if a new man, if a takeover happens, and a new manager comes in, it's not Rooney. He's then a player again. And he's going to be unfit. And we know how rubbish he is when he's unfit. That is probably another reason why our form has turned around. No disrespect to the guy, England's greatest goal scorer ever. You can't deny that. You know, the figures don't lie. But since he has come out of the team, we are playing better. We saw that when he was out of it with coronavirus. We were playing better as a team without him in it. So again, the confusion goes on. Obviously, you sound like you. Oh, well, Mohammed has obviously said there, you know, employ Rooney full time or just get someone else in. Yeah. So the takeover then, you know, I've tried and tried. I've gone down different angles. You know, I've even remember I had those who've listened before. I had Salam Hafez on. You know, he's doing his best to try and find any information about this takeover, but even he is finding it impossible. You know, the contacts he's got out in the Middle East as well. It is so hard to find anything. However, season tickets are now being refunded months after it was supposed to happen. Does that now mean there's a bit of cash flow available? Because again, obviously with Ryan as well, you know, Rooney's saying 24 to 40 hours. Ryan was told, obviously, I think Ryan from the Athletic as well was, you know, he said he thinks it's something to do with loans from MSD and Dell and all that. Now, if you're taking over a club, now the loans make sense. You know, if you're going to be a new owner and you've got a 30 million debt you're walking into, you're going to say, whoa, no. You're paying that debt off, not me. If you want me to buy this club, you're paying that debt off. So perhaps that is another factor of why this takeover is taking so long. But money's moving now. Fans are getting the money back. Again, refunds. You know, it might be to do with the package from the Premier League that they've sent down. It might be, it might not be. But refunds were owed to season ticket holders. That's all of a sudden started happening now. Is that a sign that things are moving forward? Is that a sign that at last this takeover could finally be moving forward? Because Mohammed, you are right, my friend. It needs to happen before January because we still need players in to complete this squad. We are by no means the finished article. So we need that takeover to happen by January so we've got funds. You know, we need a striker. You know, Kazim Richards has been fantastic for us, but we need someone to help him, to back him up if we need to change things. Marriott is back with us, but he's injured. 6 to 8 weeks. Is he going to play a part? Why go on again? You know, someone else who struggled to find the net this year. So we need another striker. Whether it's going to be Dursun, I don't know. You know, the consensus was that obviously Ryan's been on the show and he said this as well. The consensus is that come January transfer window, he's going to be dirt cheap, so we go get him. However, Brexit might be putting a stink on that, so that we are, you know, again, so we're going to have to find somebody. You know, someone mentioned earlier on, Old Ram, I think it is on Twitter, said, what about Dwight Gale? Yeah, why not? Yeah, he's not going to be your hold-up man, but he's going to be that man that we needed yesterday. You know, we needed somebody yesterday to get him behind the defense at Brentford. There's going to be games where we need that. There's going to be more teams that push up high and they go, well, actually, these just play a long ball up to Colin Kazim Richards. He holds it off and gets people in around him. just push up, they squeeze up on them so they can't do that. All of a sudden, then you change it and go, right, we've got someone that's quick like Dwight Gale, knows where the back of the net is. He's in all of a sudden running him in behind defences. And we're scoring goals. He's a goal scorer. He pisses it in the Championship. Sorry about my language. But he does. He can't really score much in the Premier League, but the Championship, the man loves it. He thrives in it. Again, he's out of contract at the end of the season. I think West Brom were apparently, obviously, he was on loan at them last season. They were apparently interested in him, but I don't. I'm not really read into that. But he's still at Newcastle, not really getting game time. If we get them, if we get this takeover completed, we can get him. We could get him. It'd be dirt cheap as well because it's last year of his contract. So yeah, the takeover needs to happen. I know it's frustrating. I'm getting frustrated about it as well. And I'm sure many of the journalists and our friends in the media, I'm sure they're getting frustrated about it because every day all they're hearing is when's the takeover happening. Ian Hayes then, he asked a similar question. Is it true that the delay with the takeover may have something to do with the 30 million loan taken out by Mel Morris early in the season? And when will we know if the takeover is taking place? Hopefully before the January transfer window opens. Yeah, exactly. That's the question. This is what I'm saying. Fans were trying to dig out from anywhere we can to try and get information about when this takeover is going to happen. And I think some fans have even just given up faith and thinking it isn't going to happen. But the one thing I will say is Mel Morris won't want that to happen. Mel Morris, he doesn't want to be here anymore, obviously. He's taken this club as far as he feels he can. He can't do any more. So even if these do pull out, I think he'll be in for somebody else and somebody else or somebody else. But at the end of the day, you could be right. The loan, the £30 million loan, is probably a big, big factor. Mel Morris, it's believed that they're paying about 60 million for the club. So Mel probably have to use that 30 million to pay off. 30 out of the 60 million to pay off. Obviously, you've got to factor in the stadium as well. Who has the stadium? The two positives we can take from this, though, is that they have passed the EFL's fit and proper owners test. They've passed that. There's also been an agreement in principle. So something has gone off. Something is going off. Something is being worked out. That is the little hope we've got to hold on to, is the fact that an agreement in principle has happened. Obviously, when you're buying a house, you put an agreement in principle, but it still can go tits up. Not saying it's going to do that by all means, but it's something that can happen. But we've got to hang on to that hope, and yes, it definitely needs to be done before January. John Millhouse, how much of our recent form is down to Rooney's manager skills, or is it the fact that he isn't on the pitch? And then Stephen Hall actually replied to that. He says, he isn't on the pitch. Players are responding to Rooney as a manager. He was the all-time England goal scorer. He was England's all-time top goal scorer. Players are now respecting him for stepping down. Happy place now. Let's go behind Rooney and the lads. Yeah, so obviously I've touched on this. Rooney as a footballer was great. He possessed everything. He could shoot, score, pass, defend. As an all-round footballer, he was great. Yeah, what letting him down was probably, for us, would have been his fitness, but that's his age. You don't win the things he has without being a top player. Yes, you don't play at a top club, at a top level for as long as he did without being a great player. He was at Man United for how many years? He made his debut at 16 for Everton. Scored a worldie against Arsenal on his debut. Remember the name, Wayne Rooney. No one ever forgot him because he was a good player. Very, very, top class player. Champions League, Europa Leagues, FA Cups, League Cups, Premier League titles. He's won it all. So there is a footballing brain in there. You only have to listen to his former teammates, like the likes of Rio Ferdinand, etc., Jamie Carragher, people like that. They all know that he's got a great footballing brain. Just because he doesn't come across as intelligent, which, let's be honest, he doesn't. Not everybody does. Not everybody can talk, with a microphone in front of him and give press conferences. That's just the way he is. But just because he sounds a bit doesn't mean he is. You know, so there's obviously he has got a lot of footballing knowledge. You know, he's been doing it for what, the past 16, 17 years as a top pro. You know, so yeah. But again, I would also agree with that. With the fact that Rooney isn't on the pitch, bizarrely, has actually helped us. And I don't care. You know, I've heard a lot of people say, you know, a lot of like Talk Sport, etc., things like that. You know, ex pros and whatnot. Rooney needs to be playing for Derby. He shouldn't be managing. He needs to be playing for him. No, he doesn't need to be playing for us because he's holding us back. Regardless of the player he was, he isn't that player now. So I think, yeah, Rooney not being on the pitch is actually helping us rather than hindering us. Because I believe, you know, I've said it at the start of the show, I believe it was hindering us. Jay Smithy on Instagram. Jimmy, my nephew. Hey, dude. He says, after recent performances, has Rooney in a way proved himself that he can be our next manager? What's your thoughts? Sorry, mate, I sort of given you them already. But he can be. You know, did I? Me personally, I still think we need that experienced guy. I generally think we do need that experienced guy, whether it's to work alongside Rooney as an assistant or whatever. It's a tough call. He's making it difficult now. I think we have to give him a lot of credit because a lot of us wrote him off straight away. You know, yeah, he's managed four without defeat now. You know, so a lot of us wrote him off. Went, oh shit, not going to be a manager. I did swear, I'm sorry, but whatever. You know, we can't have him as manager. I was the same. I said, no, we need somebody experienced. But I also said, if he does want to be a manager, then now is his time. He's been given a free role here. You know, I said, now is his time to prove that he can be manager, that he does know how to be a manager, regardless of his qualifications. Now's his time. He can step up and say, look, I can do this. And at the moment, he's showing that. So, yeah, why not? I think it will be very dependent on who he has as his backroom staff. If Rooney was given the job, he would. I could see a clear out. I could potentially see Rossini going. I could see Given maybe going. I don't know. He would want his own staff in. Obviously, McClaren as well. He's only here for about a month. You know, which again speaks volumes to me that it was, you know, the takeover, because they've got to approve it when they come in. They might not want him here, or they might want him as manager, or they might want to keep him here as technical advisor. So it's up to them. So we initially got him here for a month, and I generally think that is why he's playing a part in this, because Mel's called on him again. Mac, we're stuck again. Can you come and bail us out? Yeah, well, of course I will. Yeah. You know, I think I don't want you as manager. I want you as technical advisor to Wayne Rooney, but you can do the coaching, do the training. Do you know what I mean? It seems a bit too convenient, if that makes sense. You know, so whether Mac stays beyond the month, you know, that's what we're led to believe. That's what I've heard and read, that he's only supposed to be here for a month. Whether he is or not, you know, it's obviously down to no one. So that leaves obviously end of December, start of January. So hopefully that's when we're looking at this takeover being completed. But yeah, Rooney at the moment, he has proven himself that he can be a manager. Lucy Hackett. Hey, Lucy. She says, hi, Simon. Hope you're well. It was a good point against Brentford. Was a very good point. Both had chances to win it, but a draw was a fair result. Derby played much better, and Bielik was brilliant. They all were. Sending love to Curtis on his injury and hope he has a speedy recovery. Yeah, definitely sending love to him. Hit the post, but overall a good game and performances from all the lads out there. Hopefully we can continue like we are and eventually move out of that drop zone onto Stoke Saturday. Yeah, damn right, Lucy. I think we can, you know. You know, performances, like I said, it's the desire and the passion, and you know, you're not coming after games thinking, well, they didn't leave anything out there. We're coming off games. You should have seen the state of Jason Knight's shirt. That's a white shirt. When that was a brown shirt when he came off. It was covered, absolutely caked in mud because he put a shift in. Big shift. He was everywhere. And we're getting more players like that. We've got Knight doing that. We've got Shinny doing that. Jozviak. You know, he's running up and down the wings now. You know, he was saying I think it was an interview, like under Cocker, he was finding it difficult to adapt because of he wasn't allowed to get forward like he liked to. But now he's up and down that wing. You know, he'll come back and defend. He'll get forward. He'll come back. He'll get forward. You know, Dwayne Holmes, another one. You know, a lot of people said, oh, he's been poor. Dwayne Holmes isn't a winger. We know this, but he was up again. He was up and down the wing, trying. He's not a defender. He's not ideally going forward on the wing, coming back and helping out on the wing. It's not his game. Put him in the middle of the park. That's when we saw the best of him under Philip Cocu. Was in the middle. Needs to be, if you're going to play Dwayne Holmes, put Ibe on the wing and put Holmes in the middle, something like that. But they are playing with passion, fight, and spirit and desire. Something that again, it was questioned under Cocu. So Rooney's got him doing that at least. And obviously the point that Stephen made on his reply to John Millas's question, that they're playing for Rooney, they respect him because he's dropped out. Of course they respect him. But I bet he gets them fired up. We don't see a heck of a, we know we don't see half, 3/4 of what goes on behind closed doors. Rooney's been known to give the hairdryer treatment, when Cocu was there. Now he's in charge. So people are going to respect him. They'll do what he says because we've shown as well, he made 7 changes in his first game, 5 in his second, and then obviously kept it last night. Something like 7-5-4, 1, something like that. He made so many changes. So if you play crap, he will drop you. You've got to show him that you're good enough to keep your spot that you want to play. He said he's going to pick players based on not necessarily merit, but on how it suits the team they're playing against. And we've got healthy competition now for positions. We've got Buchanan and Forsyth fighting it out. Both probably, have got different qualities, different, whatever the opposite of qualities is. Can't think of the word right now. But they both offer you different attributes. So they're battling it out. I think we need a solid centre back pairing, and I think that's what we're going to have under. We were going to have under Clark and Davis. That looks like it's probably going to be Clark and Wisdom now, depending on how bad Davis is. But other than that, you had Byrne and Wisdom fighting it out for that right back spot. The midfield, Bielik, his place seems nailed on now. But you've got Shinnie. Shinnie, you've got to respect his attitude. He was one of our best players when Rooney was out. Then he was dropped when Rooney came back. Then he was dropped again when Rooney was in charge for Max Bird. Max Bird didn't perform. Shinnie back in. Shinnie keeps performing. Shinnie keeps going. Jason Knight keeps going, keeps working. Players like that aren't going to be dropped because they work their knackers off every single game, and that is what you need when you're in this position. Tom Lawrence, I'll get onto that before I say that. This is the question. That's why I've just read it. Bucock _Callum. So Callum Bucock on Twitter says, could Rooney be the end for Lawrence at Derby? For me, only reason he's getting a shout is because of Wagon and Holmes' poor form and I being ill. I know Rooney was with Lawrence at United and demands work rate 24/7. Yes, cracking question. We've all seen it. We've all seen it if you're on social media. How is Lawrence starting? How is Lawrence getting this? How is Lawrence doing that? He's useless. He's lazy. He's awful. Rooney is the first manager since we've had, since Lawrence came. That's Rowett that's been here. Who took off after Rowett? Lampard, Cocu, and now Rooney. 3 managers he's played under, and all of them played him, no matter what. No matter how poor his performances were. The only time he got dropped was after the drink drive incident, but he still come back into the squad. Back into the team. Yes, we did see improved performances from him. You can't deny that. We did. The back end of last season, he was probably one of our best players, if not our best player. He showed what he can do on a consistent basis. We said we missed him at the start of the season. We did. He came in for a couple of games, give us everything. We went, yes, we've missed his Tom Lawrence. But then he's dropped back into his shell again. Rooney's gone, out you get. Off you go. If you're not going to play, I can't start you if you're not going to perform for me. Now you've got to show me you come off the bench, you make an impact. You've now, like I said, like Callum just said, you've got Ibe, who is now making the bench. He's made the bench twice. Now, unfortunately, I think he would have been back sooner had it not been for him being illness. But he's been on the bench twice. He is surely, I know he's not got on yet, which is fine. But he's surely going to be chomping at the bit. He's on the bench now. He's going to be chomping at the bit. He's not a bench player. He'll be want to get on that pitch and he'll want to show what he can do. He'll be want to be started. He didn't play football for about 28 months or something daft like that. You know, he's had his issues. He's happy he's back here. He wants to be back here. We saw in his little cameo against Southampton, where he scored the goal, 45 minutes there, how good he was and how determined he was. He wanted to play. He's not here just to sit and earn a paycheck. He's here to play football because he misses it, because he enjoys it. He's going to be chomping at the bit to get on. If he gets on, he's going to perform. So you're quite right. This could be the end of Tom Lawrence. What's he got? A year left on his contract? Is it the end of this season? Is next season? It's on 5 years under route. Yeah, so next season. So he's got to start performing. He's got to start playing. If you had Jozwiak and Ibe on each wing, whew, that's potentially dangerous for other teams. That's fair. You look at teams. We look at that and go, geez, I'm not looking forward to having Ibe and Jozwiak running at me all day. So yeah, it potentially could be the not necessarily the end for Lawrence, but it could be that sort of rocket he needs. Thomas Kitchen he actually DM'd me on Facebook. Yes, good lad. My question is, how much of influence do you think McClaren is having, and do you think the takeover is dead? Well, I've obviously gone over. I think McClaren is having a massive, huge influence on this team, without doubt. And I don't think the takeover is dead. I think it's still there. Sorry I answered your question in my pod. Sorry, mate. I got your shout out. Thank you for listening. Anyway, yeah, feel free to reach out to me like he did. Remember, Rams Writer podcast page on Facebook. That's where he messaged me. You can do that too if you want to get your comments in, or even if you want to chat, it's fine. Just hit me up. Roy Gibson, then last question. He says, last comment. He says, I was happy with a good point at Brentford, but is there anything that can be done short of it? Hold on. I was happy with a good point at Brentford, but is there anything that can be done short of importing a striker to improve our woeful goal-scoring record? Things cannot be sorted until we know the ownership of the club. Facts, please, not rumours. Yeah. And that's it. We do need a striker. I think that is the only thing that's letting this team down, is someone's going to put the ball in the net consistently for you. Colin Kazim-Richards has been a revelation since he come. But he's not getting, he's got a goal, but I do think whether it's creating the right chances for him, we're putting balls into the box, he's got to get his head on them. But we have seen him, if we give him chances in front of goal, he will cause a threat, he will put them away. We saw that one against Wickham, was it, that was disallowed for offside? And then he went and created one for Holmes, So we do need a goal scorer. We need someone that can unlock defenses, can get in behind defenses. When we're struggling and playing in front of defenses and we're just not breaking them down, we need that person that can zip through, like your Marriott, for example. But I don't think he's the answer. But yeah, we need it. See, the thing is with Serdar Dursun, he, looking at him and watching him, he's bagged quite a few goals this season. But what he is that hold-up man that can bring others into play, like you see KRs, but he can also get you goals. He'll score goals for you, head, feet, whatever. He'll get in the right areas. You put the ball in the right area, and he'll stick it away for you as well. So yeah, we do need that goal scorer, definitely, Roy. And yeah, I like to say, I don't know any facts on the takeover. You don't know when it's going to end. All I do know is that it needs to. If it is still on, it needs to. If it's not, the club needs to come out and tell us it's not really. As fans, is it fair? I don't want to sound like a child, but it's not fair that we don't know. And for them to keep it for us, a lot of us, we're all hard working, season ticket holders, and then you've got the people that go out and want to go to a game every week or can't, buy tickets, buy merchandise. We're all putting money into this club. Those guys that are paying £10 a game for Rams TV, we're all putting money back in the club. I think we do need to know. We shouldn't be not outcasted as much, but obviously they've said we're going to make no comment until comments needed. But yeah, it's tough. It really is difficult. As a fan, you'd assume, and one thing that they're saying, we're not going to make a comment, any more comments until it's done or whatever, is the fact that they're not made any more comments. So you'd have to assume that it's back on. So yeah, thank you all you guys for your questions and your comments. So then, just before I end, then Stoke City then at the weekend. Obviously Davis is going to be out. Shinnie is going to be out. suspended, which is a huge blow. Yeah, so his downside is, he puts his body back, puts his tackles. He just tends to he has got a tendency to get a yellow card. It's any bad thing really, but Stoke then last season played them at home, battered them 4-0. This season they're a different side. They're doing all right. I've not really watched a great deal of them, to be honest. But they're up there, they're scoring goals. I think they've got quite a few injuries, to be honest. There's going to be a few people, big players missing. But I just think we can, it's starting to come together now. We are finding an identity. We do know how we're going to play football, how we're going to approach games. We're playing a consistent formation. I think, has he, not stumbled on necessarily, but has he found a consistent sort of playing starting 11? Because that's one thing we've felt like we've not had in ages, is a consistent starting 11. Now, obviously, we are going to be losing Davis and Shinnie, like I've just said. So starting out then for me, obviously, Marshall in goal. I'd stick with Forsyth at left back. I generally would. I think, they're Stoker, a team that like to put balls in the box. I think his position at the back post is better than Buchanan's. That's one thing, Buchanan will work on and he'll learn, is his position at back post when crosses come in. We saw it with Bogle last year, and I suppose under Lampard as well. It's the amount of times he got beaten at the back post because his positioning was poor. Switch off. So yeah, Forsyth, Clark, Wisdom, Nathan Byrne will be back. Obviously his suspension's over now. So midfield then, Bielik definitely. Who comes in? So I had this debate and there was a lot of things flying around. There was bringing back Bird. There was moving Holmes in there, bringing Knight in there and playing someone else. So for me, what I'd like to see was Bielik and Holmes. So Bielik and Knight, I'd put in that central partnership CDM role. I just think Knight's got the same energy, if not more, than Shinnie, which is, saying something. He'll get forward as well, and he can still cause a threat even from deep. Because I personally would say just go to a 4-3-3. We don't need, Bielik can look after that midfield on his own. He really can. Someone mentioned, actually, I just thought about that. Someone compared, they said obviously Max having a big influence because Bielik's like a Thorn, which he is. Bielik's like your George Thorn, your commander in midfield. Break up the attack, break up attacks, get you going forward. Is athletic. I think Bielik's a slightly bit more athletic than Thorn is, though, to be honest. But play your 4-3-3. Stick your Bielik there, stick your Knight one side, Holmes on the other, your winger and CKR. You could quite easily do that. But obviously we're going to stick with the 4-2-3-1. So yeah, there's me two. Jozwiak on the left. And what I'd like to see is Jozwiak on the left, CKR up top, Ibe on the right, Tom Lawrence at number 10. Tom Lawrence played his best games and showed how good a player he was in that sort of free role as a number 10. And I'd like to see him do that, especially when he's got, Kazim Richards up there that's going to bring the ball. We saw how well he linked up with Martin last season. He was playing his best games when he was playing with Martin up top. He could do the same again. I genuinely feel he'll be able to do the same again with CKR. And I think one thing that Knight didn't do, which he probably needed to do when he was playing the 10 yesterday, was get a bit closer to him. There was times where, the ball would be up to Colin, but the thing is with Knight, he chases, he chases a lot. He chases everything. He'll always fight to get back, try and defend. But one thing that does when he does that is it leaves Colin exposed. All of a sudden, Knight's sat deep and he's got no one near. Lawrence isn't going to do that. Lawrence will want to be around where the ball's going forward. He wants to be getting goals. Lawrence needs a goal. So that would be the 11 I would go with, to be personally honest, would be something like that. I don't see, again, you could put Holmes as the 10. You've got Lawrence on one wing. If Ibe's not fit enough to start, you can put Waghorn out there. Jozwiak for me has to start. The starters have to be Marshall, Bielik, Jozwiak, CKR, without doubt. And then the centre backs as well, Clark and Wisdom. That's about all we've got, really. But yeah, Bielik's got to start. Jozwiak's got to start. Them pair when Bielik and Jozwiak get close, they're starting to gel. You know, we know they're good friends, and you can see that when they play. There was a really good opportunity last night. I think Bielik, nice little 1-2 with Jozwiak. Jozwiak then got to the wings byline, fizzed this ball across, and it hit Lawrence in the stomach. I don't think he was ready for it, to be honest. And, you know, that was such beautiful play. And that's what Bielik brings as well, you know, and him linking up with Jozwiak is so, so nice to see. It really is. But yeah, anyway, so again, I'm positive. I am positive. You know, I found it, you may have known the tone of my voice when I do the podcast, but I was struggling at times to pick myself up, you know, and the way we were playing and trying to eke out any sort of positivity I could. You know, I like this podcast. You know, I know I'm trying to be positive all the time if I can, but I will be negative if I need to be. You know, it's about finding that balance, I guess. But I think things are looking up. Yeah, there's still things we need to improve. We do need to score more goals, without doubt. Without doubt, we need to score more goals. That will come. Either whether, you know, we've got the squad we've got at the minute until January. Hopefully we can bolster in January. But let's get, you know, there's enough in this team to, you know, to help us get out of this relegation scrap we're in at the moment. And like I said, 3 points on Saturday. We just need to concentrate on ourselves. You know, Kazzy and Richard did a great interview with Owen Bradley on Rams TV a couple of weeks ago now, and he was saying he looked at the table and thought, you know what, there's nothing in this. We're sat at the bottom of the league, but there's nothing in this. There's no reason why we can't get out of this if we keep grinding and fighting. God, I love that man. Honestly, that guy's it's becoming a bit of a cult legend. You know, it's not just what he does on the pitch, off the pitch as well. He doesn't shut up. You know, he keeps them players going. He's a leader out there. You know, and to be honest, I expect him to get the captain's armband when Davies went off. I think he went to Marshall yesterday. But yeah, anyway, waffling. Score prediction then. This will go in my Rams Right prediction league for those who play as well. So I'm going for. I'm going to go Derby County 2, Stoke City 0. First Derby goal scorer. Oh, depends who he plays, doesn't it? I'm going to go Jozwiak. He's getting close. He obviously got the one disallowed at Forest. Ding. Which was unfairly disallowed. He hit the post last night. It's coming. It really is. So I'm going to go, Jozwiak to score. It's not going to be able to handle his pace. He's going to dribble around about 4 of them, tuck it in the bottom bins. Job's a good one. So yeah, anyway, that's my show, guys. As always, thank you so much for listening. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at RamsWriter, Facebook, the RamsWriter podcast page, Instagram, the RamsWriter podcast. Also, if you would like to sponsor me, become a sponsor, become a Patreon, you can visit my Patreon site, patreon.com/the Rams Writer. It's $3 a month sign up, and yeah, it's just to say I like your work, keep it going, and you know, like I say, if I could build it up, you know, it'd be nice. I'd obviously give back to you guys, you know, raffles or stuff like that, you know, do giveaways and whatnot. So yeah, I'm hoping to have a good a couple of guests next week. Fingers crossed, it's happening. So Ryan is going to be back, and he's going to be with Andrea Wisdom's brother Dasho. So hopefully we get a good podcast out of that. I'm sure we will. So it's in the pipeline to hopefully do next week. So keep your eyes peeled for it. Anyway, guys, as normal, as always, like and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, follow me on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. I'm on all the major podcasting platforms. Anyway, guys, that's enough of me waffling. Thank you for listening. Thank you for getting involved. I do really appreciate it. Big love, guys. Much love. And as always, I shall see you next time. Come on, Derby.